and welcome to episode 5 of Needles on the Net. I'm Deanna Gutman, and we have Ethan Barkley and you. Woo! And today, our special guest is Sarah Deeth.
Hello.
I owe Sarah a big thank you because she has been helping us out with our sample knitting. We finally got to the point where we knitted so much that it was starting to stress us out because we were always keeping up. So Sarah has been very generous in helping us out. Making samples for the store.
It has been a pleasure. It has been a total pleasure because I get to do amazing patterns with amazing yarn. So I have no complaints.
See, it works for everyone. We started Sarah off and she agreed to knit this beautiful Stroll Shawl first. We absolutely love it. It's from Christine Nahul. Has a really interesting construction that we're definitely going to get into. And it's going to be knit up in Veil or in Puri, but this one is knit up in Veil in the Norway colorway. And I'm going to let Sarah take it away and talk a little bit about the design, the knitting process, and Veil. Okay,
well, so for starters, I love knitting in lace. I have knit with lace for years and years and years. So when I was asked to make shawl, it was actually like a no-brainer. I mean, I saw, you know, it was lace. I had never knit in Veil before, and I have to tell you that actually knitting in Veil was a delight. I mean, it's very light, it's very airy, but what's also nice about it is it sits really well on your needles, and it's not prone to snagging or bunching or any of that can sometimes happen with lace yarns, you know, because they're so light that it's really easy for that to happen.
Yeah, and they like felt to each other a little bit, and you're like trying to pull it apart.
Especially if it's got that little bit of alpaca in it or something.
And you're sitting there, it's 9 p.m. at night, you've had a glass of wine, and you're like, I don't want to break the yarn, why won't it come apart?
That's exactly, but it didn't. It actually, like, it held up beautifully. The pattern itself, so it's labeled as being for, I think, an adventurous intermediate, and actually that is exactly what this is. And again, like, lots of experience with lace. And, you know, there were parts of this that were a struggle, and it's not the pattern itself. The pattern is actually a fantastic, well thought out pattern. Most of that just had to do with me basically being an idiot and like,
so mean to
no, but you know, sometimes like, and like they're like, you know, you should read ahead, and you're like, I don't need to read ahead because I'm so good. No, you need to read ahead. Like, that's what you need to do. But you know what? So it starts off just right in this corner, and you have one chart where it just basically establishes the base for the pattern, and then every single row is one increase. And so for the bulk of the pattern, as you can see, you've got this garter stitch with this side here, and that's actually sometimes where it's really easy to lose your way, because you get so caught up in just doing garter stitch, and you're watching TV or you're listening to your podcast or you're talking and you're garter, and then all of a sudden you hit, oh right, I'm in the middle of the lace. So
we've all been there.
Yeah, stitch markers, absolute necessity for this one, I will tell you that. When you get to the edge, you do have to pay attention to what you're doing, but it goes fast, and it is a bit tricky there because you have to, you can't necessarily read the knitting because you're not knitting in lace the whole time.
Right.
So when you get into the established sort of seashell look of it, the first few rows, like, really pay attention.
So take a break, slow down, lots of markers.
Lots of markers,
Rescue line?
Yeah, you know what, I would put in, actually, I did use a couple of lifelines, and I don't regret that decision at all. Take the time.
I've never needed to use one when I've put it in. I've never regretted the time.
Yeah, exactly.
All that effort gives you this beautiful, like, mermaid
gorgeous,
scale
airy,
kind of
floaty lace
look on the lace.
And it's, you know what, and it's a stunning effect, and that's always the thing about lace, is it's a stunning effect. And I used less than 2 skeins of Veil.
Amazing.
I think I got maybe 2/3 through the second one when it was done, and you know, so for the price, like, it's a step.
Yeah, it's great.
A $40 project, basically.
Yeah.
And it's 100% Rambouillet.
Yeah, which is one of our favorite wools.
We do love it.
And that's why it has the balance, like you say, and such a crisp stitch definition, too.
Yeah, I mean, you can't you know, you can't really feel it because you're watching this, but it's remarkably soft, and the garter.
But let us touch the yarn for you.
It really is. It's got a lot of good bounce to it.
But you can come visit us and squish it here in the store. Yeah. We'll have it for a little while longer before we have to hand it back to Sarah eventually. But that's great. Thank you, Sarah. And we've also got this cardigan too. This was the first sample that you knit for us.
Yes, this is Carbeth, and so this one, if you are a beginner or you just want a really quick sweater / cardigan because the pattern comes in both, this one probably is easily one of your best bets.
Okay.
Super easy. Super easy. I knit this in Quarry, again, really cost effective, only 4 skeins of Quarry.
Crazy.
Was it only 4?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Wow.
Well, and also too, I added, if I can, I'm just going to fold it for a second. So the pattern calls, the body of the actual pattern is quite short. So one modification I made, and I looked at the pattern notes on Ravelry that everybody made, is everybody added some length to the bottom, because it originally called for 8 inches from the cast on edge to your underarm, and on me, I have a really long torso, so and I also don't enjoy really cropped clothing, so
and the designers,
I think most of our clients don't enjoy the cropped look.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my thing personally. I don't look great in a crop top.
In the knitwear.
Yeah, and the designer Kate Davies is especially petite.
Yes.
Yes, she's very, and so that was the thing, is if almost everybody did the same thing, is added some length.
Totally.
So that's actually where I picked up the extra skein, because I think initially it probably could have been 3, but again, knitting in Quarry, nice solid wool, knit up really, really well. A couple of new skills I learned on this. So it is for a beginner, and again, because of the modification, all you're doing is adding inches. You don't have to do any math, which is nice, because who wants to do that sometimes? And basically, you're
Really? What? People don't like math? Tell me more.
But yeah, you're basically, it knits up almost like a square, and but I forget where I was going with this. I lost. Oh, well, yeah.
Let's open it up.
Yes.
Why don't you open it up?
It's a cute little die.
Yes.
Boom.
And so it's got this nice little effect, which again, that's just the way.
Hold it up here.
And so a couple of skills I hadn't done before was an I-cord buttonhole.
Oh yeah.
Never done that. Loved it. Everything is I-cord buttonhole from here on in now.
Woo!
Yeah, I know.
Spring break.
But if you've not done this before, pattern, super great instructions in the pattern for it. Actually,
my favorite feature on this is actually this collar.
Yeah,
so tell us a little bit.
Nice.
It's got a really nice kind of stand-up collar.
Do you know how you do that? You knit it all the way up, and then you fold it over and tack it down.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That checks out. Nice rolled collar at the end.
And then this shoulder detail too. So is this a picked? Do you pick up stitches?
That's exactly. It's actually you just create a just a leaning stitch, and that's exactly what it is. And you can actually see on the back, it comes together in sort of a V shape on the back.
Very
so
fun.
same effect, it sort of mirrors it. And again, same with arms. Arms, you just make them as long as you want. Nice rib stitch here, and it's actually going to be super warm for when the fall comes and I want to ride my bike around wearing my sweater.
Super warm but light.
Yeah.
That's one of the benefits of the woolen spun is this is a chunky yarn, but it's light as a feather.
Yeah.
Of course.
And this, we've done the sample in serpentine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's this beautiful green color. Green, the beautiful green
Leave it
color.
Yeah.
With these teal
flecks.
and yellow flecks.
Yeah. No, it's really it's a great neutral, and it's gonna go well, especially too with a lot of stuff I own. But again, if you're more experienced and you knit a lot of sweaters, this one I would think that a fast experienced knitter, you could probably get this done in maybe 2-3 weeks.
Cool.
It's just that fast. You can see, just straight stitch all the way down.
Yeah.
Do your arms.
Great. So start knitting now for an awesome
If
fall
you
cardigan.
want a sweater to wear while you take your kids back to school, Carbeth is the answer.
So thank you very much for joining us today, Sarah. I'm sure Sarah will be back on the podcast again in the future, because we've set her loose on yet another project, which is going to be
great.
done at the end of August. So maybe we can put that up on on the next episode of the podcast. Yeah, so thanks so much, Sarah.
All right, thank you.
So the fit on your Carbeth, Sarah, is amazing. Tell me, did you swatch?
I did swatch. I actually swatched 2 times with 2 different needle sizes because I wanted to be sure that I would get the gauge correct. And so I did, I think, one in size 10 and another in size 11, and it was the size 10 that worked the best.
So all of you people who play fast and loose with your swatching, this is what happens. When you swatch properly, you have a perfect fitting sweater, and when you pay attention to your measurements. So you will notice that Sarah's bust measurement fits perfectly, and then you'll also see that what she was talking about adding length, there's just a couple of extra inches here, and it's just hitting her in the perfect spot on her hips. And the same thing with the length on the arms. She's got the perfect length just coming right across the wrist there. And do you want to just turn around and we'll show everybody the back? I'm going to move your hair because you've got this kind of V thing going on here.
The fit on the back is so beautiful.
It's so pretty. And then I just love this neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people, this is your fall project, I think. And then Sarah's just a very good example of what happens when you follow all of the rules.
All of you should knit one, and all of you should swatch.
Yeah, no, it really is. I know the instinct, you want to get to work right away, and that's most of the fun of starting a new project is casting on, but you have to take the time to swatch if you want to make sure everything's going to lie like it should.
Hi everybody. So we finished up another knitting adventure. This time it was Selfish Summer Sweaters. Yes, hopefully at home you're practicing and saying it a bunch of times. I dug in real fast on knitting 2 blankets and sewing them with the tiniest seam ever to make the delightful Hearst pullover, which I am in love with. In Deanna,
I finished my woolen honey sweater. I will do a little...
It looks so good!
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Turns out that garter stitch and fingering takes a really long time in the round. Definitely prefer it.
It's a lot of purling.
But I'm glad that it turned out so beautifully. This honeycomb motif. It's just like
the
perfect.
fit is great on you.
Thank you. Yeah, I did the large size. So for those of you who are a little bit more full figured, the large is pretty forgiving.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to bump it up to the XL. And it gives you, it's pretty roomy. I did add several extra inches. When I say several, just 2. I added 2 extra inches. It's pretty short and cropped the way it is in the pattern, but the extra 2 inches I think just gave me a little bit more length. It still has that kind of cropped look, but because of my bust, it just
it fits really well.
Yeah.
I ended up making the medium in Hearst, and I, as is traditional, added 4 inches to each sleeve. It's a lifestyle choice. The split hem's really comfy. It turns out I've been wearing this in this crazy summer 30-degree heat, and I'm barely sweating because the sweater almost doesn't touch you.
Yeah, that's insanity. I was just saying that I'm gonna just leave this guy at the shop for a bit because it'll probably be a month at least before I'm ready to wear this on a regular basis. But the loft is so light and fluffy. Like, it is a summer day right now. It's a little bit cooler. I'm not too sweaty
right now.
Standing here. Yeah.
So we're super excited to announce that we have our new project coming up, and it's going to be the Fading Point from Johi Locatelli, and we're knitting it up in the amazing My Yak Baby Yak in Silk, which is their fingering weight yarn. Yeah, it's a light fingering weight yarn, and the yak is collected from Tibetan nomads, and then it's spun in Italy. We met Paola
oh my gosh,
at TNNA. She's a wonderful person. They're doing great things, and the yarn itself is absolutely beautiful. Just take out a skein here, Ethan. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera, but this has such a beautiful sheen to it. And it's over-dyed over the natural colors. So the brown comes through. There's no bleach involved, and that's one of our kind of favorite looks for yarn too, is the kind of the bleachless look, because then you get all of the depth of color. So much tonality without it being variegated, which is so interesting. So this is just a little sneak peek at a beautiful new yarn that we're going to be getting this fall. It's going to be coming in October, and we're really excited to welcome My Yak to the store. So we're here today at Peterborough Pulse,
We've got a little booth here on George Street just north of Hunter, and we're doing this really cool project called a community scarf. So we've got all kinds of odds and ends of yarn, and people are coming to knit a few rows into our scarf, and we're going to see at 3 p.m. today, when it's all said and done, how long the scarf is, and it's going to be something kind of fun and cool that we're going to display in the shop. And it's just a way of getting our fiber community mobilized here downtown Peterborough. And Grace is doing some really fun felting demonstrations. So we're doing some needle felting, and people are doing up little necklaces and little dryer balls and everything. And it's been a really great time.
You're way too close for comfort, and it's getting hard to breathe. There ain't no outlet waving. It's only just begun. Think I'm in the corner. Well, now the heads roll. Hey. Over and over again. Over and over again. Beating down my door, saying this should all be yours. You're begging for attention, and you put on the wine show. They build up a tree, but there ain't no magic fix. Painted like a circus clown and desperate for a king. There ain't no one playing waiting. It's only just begun. Think I'm in the corner. Well, now the bell has rung. Hey. Over and over.
So, we're really excited to tell you about something brand new that we're working with right now that soon you're going to have the chance to work with. Oh look, it's June Cashmere. They didn't see it coming, I'm telling you. So we're really excited. We had the amazing experience of meeting Cy and Amy and the team from June Cashmere at TNNA.
And Christy.
Oh, and Christy, yes. I'm a monster. And they graciously let us work with some of their products so we could tell you a little bit more about it. So I'm gonna let Deanna start off and tell you about what she's knitting and the yarn that they supplied her with, and we'll go from there.
So I have been knitting with the June Cashmere DK. I'm just gonna put my little gauntlet on here. It's 100% ethically sourced Kyrgyz cashmere, and it's actually Kyrgyz nomads that harvest the cashmere from the goats that they take care of.
With a traditional cashmere comb as well.
Yeah, if you go to June's website, they have a really great video which shows you all about it, and I'll put that in the link.
Amazing.
I'll put the link in the comments as well. So this is the Journey Mitts pattern. I'm super happy with how
it fits perfectly.
Yeah, it fits beautifully. I've got kind of a little hand, so it looks almost like it was made just for me.
I think it might have been. They didn't know you yet, so that was the purpose.
I've only finished one, but I'm excited to get the next one done.
Yeah.
And Ethan has been working with the lace weight.
So I've been working with the June Cashmere lace. It is absolutely wonderful. This is their new color cherry. I really, really, really love it. I'm a little obsessed. It's unimaginably soft. The yarn has never been bleached, so it has a little bit more of a crisp texture. Not that soft, fluffy, downy texture that you're used to from cashmere, but as you start working with it, it becomes the most beautiful and soft thing. So
And that's sorry, I was just gonna say that is part of how it's processed too, because they did tell us that the cashmere isn't brushed at all, and a lot of the commercial cashmere yarns that you get have already been brushed, which is what gives it that kind of fluffy
softiness
look. So this is going to be more durable actually, and it's going to bloom a little bit more as you wear it
and block it. Yeah. So I'm knitting Meeks Bay by Rosemary Hill, which Rami is always a challenge for any knitter, so it's a little bit of slow going, but the pattern is stunning, and I don't really even love knitting lace, but I can't put this down. It's crazy.
It's gorgeous. I love this black cherry colorway as well.
Me too.
I think that's going to be a beautiful shawl when you're done, and it's got that kind of interesting rectangular.
Yeah, it's a stole with a square in the middle.
Yeah, that's
Super
perfect. So the June Cashmere people are going to actually be joining us here at the store. Yeah, we're really excited about that. This coming September, right after Labor Day weekend. So we're going to be hosting a trunk show, and we're going to have all these beautiful June Cashmere products here in the store for you to buy. So stay tuned. There'll be more information about that just as we're putting the event together. And we're really happy to meet them at TNNA, and we're happy.
Love their yarn.
Yeah, we're happy to host them here in the store, and they're just doing great things with ethical yarn production.
Yeah, especially in Kyrgyzstan.
Which is something that we'd like to support.
Exactly.
So, yeah.